What's going on, everybody? This is Kevin from Colville Toyota and my social media channel, Kevin Specs. Thank you for joining me for another one. I am sitting in an awesome new vehicle today that I want to share with you guys, but it's a nasty day out today, so my time outside is probably going to be pretty brief. Take a look at this. See? Nasty. It's cold, it's wet, it's snowing. Nasty. But we're not going to let that stop us. Today, what I want to share with you guys, I am sitting in the all-new 2026 Rav4. And this isn't just any Rav4, this is the all-new Woodland Edition. For 2026, some of the major updates that Toyota has made to the Rav4 is going to be that now you cannot get an all-gas model. They are all hybrid. They still offer front-wheel drive variants, and all-wheel drive is more of a standard focus now. Another thing that they've changed, aside from new body styling and a completely new interior layout, is they're using the all-new Toyota Safety Sense 4.0. And what the 4.0 is, what the changes that Toyota has made that has really upped their game as far as the sensing capability of this vehicle and the driver aids. And so what that means, the previous generation had Toyota Safety Sense 2.0, or excuse me, Toyota Safety Sense 2.5. And 2.5, it gave you some really nice stuff. It was still a very capable vehicle. You had features like adaptive cruise control with collision prevention. You had lane keep, where once you've set your speed and set your distance, you can tell the vehicle, hey, I want to turn on my lane keep feature. And as long as the vehicle can see a yellow and white line on the road, the best way I can describe it, it was like when you would go to the bowling alley and you'd see the little kids that have the bumper lanes, you know, with the bumpers, and the bowling ball bounces off the bumpers. Well, that's kind of like what the steering assist, or excuse me, the lane keep assist feature was like with the Toyota Safety Sense 2.5. It worked well, but it wasn't very smooth or refined. You would kind of bounce off the lines and it would recenter you. Now, with the 4.0, some things that have really changed that are going to set this vehicle so far apart from any of the other stuff is going to be that it is a much more refined system. So you have full-on steering assist now with the vehicle. You've got obstacle anticipation. It can sense pedestrians, traffic jam assist. You've got just a much better collision prevention. You have front and rear cross traffic alert. So front and rear cross traffic alert, if you're sitting at, let's say a four-way stop, and you have a vehicle that goes out of turn, you know, or just goes past you, your vehicle is going to sense that. You're going to see it and hear it. So not only do you get an audible notification, it's going to show you that vehicle going past you in the front, and you're going to see it on your radio screen as well. So technically, the vehicle has 360-degree detection. When you're cruising on the highway and you set your cruise speed, you set your distance, you turn that steering assist on, maybe the person in front of you is going slow, and so you turn on your indicator. You're going to overtake this person. Well, your vehicle is actually going to look at what is over in that other lane before you even change over. If there's a vehicle in that lane, your vehicle will actually adapt to that vehicle's speed before you even change over. So very, very smooth, very refined driver aids and safety systems that are on this vehicle. It's just, it makes for an incredible driving experience, and Toyota has really outdone themselves on this car. Lots and lots of other features on this vehicle. The Woodland Edition, it is standard all-wheel drive. The new hybrids, this new generation, they have increased their fuel economy as well. So the previous gen, you get about 39.40 is what was advertised as your combined. The new combined is 43. And depending on your driving style, I've seen folks that they get even more than that. And so that was on the previous gen. And I would imagine that this new generation is going to be no different. So if you don't have a heavy foot, you put the vehicle into an eco mode, and you're just a frugal driver with what you're doing, I'm sure that this vehicle is capable of achieving even higher average fuel economy than what is advertised. So anyhow, Woodland Edition is also going to come with an appearance package, okay? The outside is styled differently, and you've got a more rugged look, and then the inside as well is going to be more rugged, more outdoorsy and camping and trail focused. So we've got the all-weather floor liners and the interior styling. We've got all of this beautiful trim on the seats. We're going to take a look in just a second. Anyhow, lots and lots of really cool features on this vehicle, and so I'm going to flip my camera around and we're going to go over it. So let's check it out. So starting off here, just looking at the steering wheel, this is a completely new layout and setup to Toyota. I literally just got this vehicle in, so we haven't even done a pre-inspection on the vehicle. And so when we do our pre-inspections, we make sure that the vehicle is, good to go, ready to go for the customer that's going to be purchasing it. We obviously want to make sure there's oil in the engine, there's fuel in the gas tank, and then all of them come in a transport mode. So for instance, if I take my key fob out of my little envelope here and I try to use it, the doors are not going to respond. So they've got to take some fuses out and put them in the proper area. We've got to program the tire pressure sensors and some other things. So there's a few things that have to be done. Anyhow, that's also why we're seeing this on the screen here. I can't get out of it right now because it's kind of still in its transport mode. But looking at the steering wheel here, you can see you've got your little navigational keys where you can cycle through different informational menus, as well as you're going to be able to adjust settings for all of those driver aids that are on the vehicle. You're going to see other informational things about your car. You can view your tire pressure, compass, navigation. You can see what's playing on the radio right on your screen. And you can also see what's going on with your all-wheel drive system, your hybrid system, your average fuel economy, how much gas you've still got left, miles still empty, all that stuff. And if you see here, this you will not see with your naked eye. These are infrared lights, but what this is doing is it's actually shining light on your face. And then there's another camera in here that watches your face. It watches your eyes. So basically, this is a driver eyesight detection, much like how Subaru has their eyesight system. And it's just making sure that when you're using features like your steering assist, where you're letting the vehicle take over and drive for you, the vehicle still wants to know that you're paying attention. You're watching the road. It's called steering assist for a reason. Down here, we've got our lane assist button. Up here, this is what turns our cruise control on. This is what sets our speed, and this is what sets our distance right here. So we can go, typically we have 3 different settings. So you've got like a 2, 4, 6. Each one is like 2 car lengths. We've got our voice activated control button here for the system. So you can actually talk to the car just by saying, the phrase, "Hey Toyota." The car wakes up, it says, "What do you need?" You can tell it to adjust your climate control settings. You can tell it to play you a specific radio station. You can tell it to navigate you to specific places or give you recommendations. What's the weather forecast? All kinds of things like that. And then looking at that again, if we do a brief hold, if your phone is connected to Bluetooth, see, you can see it heard me speak the phrase. So back to this. If we do a brief hold, that will actually activate your phone once you're connected. This new system comes equipped with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and so that's free for the life of the vehicle, and so you can take advantage of all of your driver-approved apps, navigation, but you can also talk hands-free to your Google or Siri when your phone is connected. You can even do that hands-free, and so literally same thing as the car. And you can also speak your text messages. It'll read your text messages aloud to you, and it'll ask you, do you want to respond? And you can literally speak what you want, and it says, do you like how that sounds? Yeah, go ahead and send it. So a lot of cool features here. Different sticks. So right here we've got our DRL, which is our daytime running lights. You've got running lights. You've got your auto position. This is equipped with automatic headlights, and you do have automatic high beams as well. And so the vehicle, you don't have to flick your stick back and forth. The vehicle will turn your high beams on and off as needed so that you're not blinding drivers. It recognizes vehicle headlights. And you can see there when I press this right here, down there in the corner, you'll see that little icon up here, and that's what that is. And you've also got fog lights. So that is a Woodland feature. Over here, same as all your standard Toyotas, single bump up will give you a single wipe, and then you have various speeds as you pull it down that it'll stay on, and then you can adjust your intermittent here as well. And then also your rear wiper. Looking at your radio here, this has definitely changed. So this is unique to this model. There are no other Toyotas other than the BZ4X that I can think of that has features similar to this, but this is unique to any of the other Toyotas, to where we have the ability to control our climate. You can turn on your heated seats, you can turn on your heated steering wheel, and you've got other stuff that you can do there. Taking a look at the menu system, you can see these little side icons, so that has stayed the same. It looks a little different, but anyhow, you can see this would be your Drive Connect once the vehicle has been purchased and the customer activates their app. That is something that you can take advantage of. That's the one where you can talk to the vehicle. Music note, so right here, if we go to select source, you can see AM, FM, we have Sirius, satellite radio, XM, Spotify, Bluetooth once your phone's connected, or if you just want to play something off a USB thumb drive, or maybe you have an old school iPod that you want to connect, you can totally do that. Your phone, settings, this is going to change a little bit here in the radio versus, like I said, any of the other Toyotas. You can adjust quite a few things right there on the vehicle, right in your settings menu. Looking down here at our under-screen controls, we have dual wireless charging pads. You've got your various drive modes, so when I press this button, you can see right here, oh, see, I'm not even used to that. Normally it comes up on the driver's screen. So we can come in here, maybe we want custom mode, so we can adjust our powertrain. We can go Eco, Normal, Sport, steering, Sport or Normal, air conditioning, Eco or Normal. In normal mode, it saps a little bit more energy from the car, so in Eco, it's not going to work quite as intensely, but it doesn't take as much power from the car. And so you get maybe you get another mile or 2 per gallon, so that's the idea behind that. With your steering, when it's in sport mode, you will actually noticeably feel the car kind of hunker down and the steering tightens up. It's much more responsive, and so that's what that does. Powertrain. So in Eco mode, I kind of explained that. It dials everything back. It's not going to let you rev the engine as high. It's going to change gears sooner to save on fuel. The car is going to be a little bit more sluggish on purpose. It's dialing everything back so you can maximize on your fuel economy. Normal doesn't do anything. Sport mode does the exact opposite of Eco. Everything becomes much more quick, much more responsive, and the car is going to let you rev higher. It's going to change gears later so you can get higher revs and more power out of the vehicle. So that's pretty cool. So that's what our drive mode button does, okay? Now we have our EV button. So right now the hybrid battery is not charged up enough, but once you start driving these cars, that battery charges on its own, and in low speed conditions, maybe you're going through heavy traffic, maybe there's roadworks or there's been an accident and you're stuck, in bumper to bumper, stop go traffic, you can hit your EV button and it shuts the gas motor off. And as long as you're under 25 miles per hour, at least that was what it was on the old models, you can run the car in just electric, and it'll give you, 7 or 8 miles of electric range if that battery's charged up. Pretty cool. Over here, this is unique to your Woodland Editions. We have our trail and snow buttons where we can cycle through various features, and all that does is it will prepare the traction control, the brain of the car, to behave a little differently. You're saying, hey, I know that you're smart enough that you can probably sort this out, but I'm just going to tell you ahead of time, this is what we're driving on. So that brain, the computer of the car, doesn't get confused. It says, I know that we're driving on trail, so there might be gravel, rocks, mud, dirt, snow, and so you can select any of those right there. And then normal mode, that just shuts it off. Down here, we have dual 45-watt rapid charge USB-C charge ports. We've got our downhill descent control. Occasionally, the computers of the cars will get confused and you might be stuck. Well, they give you a dedicated button where you can shut off your traction control and you can take over control of the vehicle and getting yourself unstuck. The likelihood of you ever needing to use that is probably pretty slim, but Toyota has not forgotten. They have given you that dedicated button right there. We have a multi-view camera system equipped on this vehicle. So when I press that, right now, because I'm parked, it pulls up this system where you get a 360-degree view of the vehicle. But watch when I put it in drive. Now, you can see I've got my front view and I've got my overhead view. When I turn this auto feature on, what that actually does is at low speed, because it doesn't want to distract you, okay? But at low speed, once you're below 10 miles an hour, you will see that front camera come on. And so you can see your approach to things. It's actually really cool, and it's very handy in parking lots, and that way you're not clipping curbs or, running into, a little parking, those cement parking blocks that they put in front of parking spaces and things like that. That way you're just, keeping your car in better condition, and you're way more aware of your surroundings. So, it gives you really good visibility. We've got this button up here where we can change views if we decide to. And then looking at our backup camera right there. Now you can see it change from front to rear. And you can change this. Some people will tow with these vehicles. Before, Toyota was not equipping these vehicles from the factory with the tow hitch. And check it out. What do we see down there? That little block right there? This thing has got a tow hitch. And you can see when I press that button, that center line appears, and when I turn my wheel, it will actually change angles, and you can see your trajectory, where you're gonna wind up. And believe it or not, this grid, this is actually as wide as the vehicle. It's a little, takes a little getting used to if you're not familiar with using these systems, these cameras, but it works. And so if you're backing up in tight spaces, as long as nothing is coming into these lines, into your little box there, you're safe. The vehicle keeps you safe. So a lot of really cool features there. And then you can see down here on the screen even, we've got dual climate control. So you can have it hot, they can have it cold, or vice versa. So everybody's happy. Looking down here, you've got an automatic parking brake. So when you shift this thing in and out of park, the parking brake comes on and off on its own. We've got a brake hold feature, so the vehicle can actually remain in drive. Maybe your foot's getting tired of holding the brake in an intersection. Well, you can hit your brake hold button. The vehicle will hold the brake for you, and as soon as you hit the gas pedal, it releases. You come to a stop again, it holds. So really cool feature there, especially when you're, going through traffic congestion and stuff like that. Looking in our center console here, you can see they give us some extra charge ports down there. You've got a 12-volt socket and another USB-C charge port. Looking up here, this is where we've got our little storage slot for our sunglasses. You've got your SOS button for your roadside, or if you need to get in contact with EMS 911 support. Dual microphones on the roof, and sometimes they put them in the rear. This one doesn't have them, but you get really clear audio pickup. So no matter who's talking in the vehicle, you can hear everybody really well. Look at this kind of subtle digital design on the dash and the doors. Very cool. I really like that. And then looking at these seats, just to get a better view of these, really kind of nice stamped pleated design and that soft text, and then a really nice touch with kind of that, I don't know, it's almost like a salmon color, that orange red stitching that we have. Some pink in there a little bit. Yeah, it's like a salmon color. Very nice. My camera doesn't do it much justice. This up here looks a little more orange to me, but the stitching kind of looks like a salmon color. Let's take a look at some of the other features that we have. Down here by my left knee, we've got an automatic lift gate for the trunk. Over here, that is just a blank slot. So if you wanted to install maybe a light bar or something else on this vehicle, you could have a nice little spot to put that. Right here to dim or brighten your gauge cluster lights. Button down here for your fuel door, and then open your trunk. Another little hidden gem, when we open our driver's door, right here, this unclips and comes out, and you have a camping light. It's the little things. Pretty cool little feature there. So moving to the back here, I'm 6 foot, and even with my seat scooted where it was, I've still got excellent leg room. We've got dual 15-watt USB-C charge slots back here, charge ports, and you have these vents back here to keep your passengers comfortable. Looking at our center console here, you can see we have these dual USB-C charge ports that are back here. And then we've got vents down here, so when we set the climate control, everybody's comfortable. Nice seat back pockets, and then looking at the seats in here, same design back here as well. We've just got that really cool woodland rugged vibe. Then looking in the trunk area, like I said, this just came off the truck, but this is where our all-weather floor liners are. We've already got the cargo mat down, and then per Rav4's designs that they've stayed true to, you've still got a spare tire, even though this one's a hybrid, no fix-a-flat kit. Hybrid 1500 watt AC inverter right back here, so when you're out camping you can plug your household devices into. And then we've got this nice tonneau cover. Your seats do fold flat as well, so maybe you want to sleep in the car. You fold your seats down, you pull this tonneau cover back, and you can shade your face. Or maybe you just want to keep your groceries a little more cool. Then you can see our automatic lift gate right here. And then here is that awesome new tow hitch from the factory. And then we've got our 4-flat plug, but I think towing capacity is right around 2,500 pounds. You can see these little bumper dimples. That's where our parking sensors are, and then that also helps manage the rear cross traffic alert. And then same thing on the front. Our little front dimples, that handles our all new front cross traffic alert, as well as that front camera. We've got rigid LED fog lights and this new hammerhead hood design with these super bright LED projector beams. Love what they've done for the wheel design as well. This does come with Toyota center caps. They just haven't put them on yet, still in its transport mode, but all in all, a really good looking car. I love what they've done with it. And Woodland also comes standard now with the roof rack crossbars. Well, that about sums it up, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Me personally, I think this thing is awesome. Toyota has done a phenomenal job on these cars, and there is a reason why the Rav4 is the #1 selling SUV in the entire country. And I think with this new rendition, that's going to remain true for many years to come. This thing is incredible. And please like, share, follow, subscribe if you haven't already. I know it only takes a second, but it helps me a lot. I'm not trying to be a YouTube star, but I am passionate about cars, and I love to share all of this stuff with you guys. I love to interact and talk, and I'd love to hear your opinions. Leave some comments below, and most of all, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and if any of you are interested, if you're watching this video early enough, this vehicle that I did the review on is still available. It's the only one that I've got right now. We just got 3 in on the truck, 2 are sold. This one's available. So if you're interested, you can contact me at our dealership at 509-684-6251 and ask for Kevin in sales. I would love to provide you the same experience that I've provided to hundreds of my customers before. And there's also a reason why we have a 4.9 star review. That's a very hard thing for a dealership to achieve. A lot of people that I have spoken with, at least, they've got at least one bad experience that they've had buying a car. And we want to change the car buying experience. We want to provide people the best experience possible. Customer service is our pride and joy. 4.9 star review online. Like I was saying, we place with some of the top Toyota dealerships nationwide for our reviews. And we want to take care of you for the life of your vehicle and hopefully beyond. And if you have a good enough experience, you tell your friends, you tell your family. That's what it's all about, guys. And also, here in Washington, we have some of the lowest taxes in the entire state. Washington State does it by county, not by state. And so you can take advantage of our sales tax and the fact that we don't mark our vehicles up. It's going to be MSRP. And so with that being said, I can save you some money as well. I would love to earn your business. And most of all, I just like to interact with you guys. So like I said, leave some comments below. I'm Kevin Smith at Colville Toyota and my social media channel, Kevin Specs. I really appreciate all you guys watching, and we'll see you on the next one.